What's going on, guys? This is Malcolm. You're on Malcolm Talks. I appreciate you visiting the channel. You know, today is Tuesday and I'm headed to work, obviously. And I want to talk to you guys about de-escalation, man. De-escalation. Because see, right now we got this big thing in our community, especially amongst young people, and it's called turn up. And I know I sound like an old guy, but I'm not that old, guys. But this whole concept of turning up, you know. See, turn up and de-escalation are actually the opposite. When you want to de-escalate something, you actually want to turn things down. You want to tone stuff down. But see, when you have a culture right now, and I blame a lot of it on rap music, where the whole idea is that if anybody says or does anything disrespectful or anything like that to you, then that gives you free reign to turn up on them, to go off on them. This is something that we've got to stop. We've got to realize that it's not getting us anywhere as a group, as you know. And I'm talking about all people, but I'm black, so I'm specifically talking about us. I feel like this is an area of improvement for our community. We have to realize that we hold some of the power as it pertains to de-escalating a situation. Now, let's just say you're dealing with the police. Now, the police, obviously, there probably are some police out there who are vigilantes. Well, they don't care what's going on, but they have a mission to kill you. For whatever the case may be. We've seen things on television that has been recorded that would give us reason to believe that some police officers, we ain't talking about all, we might not even be talking about a 0.5%, but some of them seem hell-bent on hurting or killing African-American males. I don't know what it is. So my mind, here's the way my mind works. The way I'm looking at it is, okay, if that's the case, if this is what we've seen with our own eyes and we've seen evidence of it, now what do we do? Well, what you do is you want to stay alive, right? But I don't like to put all the power in a police officer's hands. What I mean by that is, how can we as a community talk about ways to de-escalate the situation? Just hear me out, because I know a lot of y'all probably want to turn up right now, just even hearing the idea of de-escalation. But see, there's certain tactics that you can use, and I'm not about to go over all of them on this video. I guess that would be good if I did that, wouldn't it? But maybe I'll do that in a future video. I want to talk to you guys about the whole idea, because this is something that we have to digest first. This whole idea of de-escalation. Let me tell you something about police officers. Police officers are people just like anybody else, as you know. If you get pulled over by the police officer, you have to understand they are the authority. I'm just stating facts. These are things you already know. We don't have to go any further with that. The police officer is the authority figure in that situation. Now, what makes them an authority figure, might I ask? Well, to become an authority figure, what that means is you hold power. I'm gonna break it down real simple, guys. When you're in an authority situation, or you're an authority figure, all that means is that you hold the power. You're the authority. If you have children, you're the authority, because you ain't finna be running your mouth and doing all this other stuff. You'll get whooped or you'll get put on punishment. It's my house, my food, I pay the bills. You just live here. You my child. Now, I'm not saying the police look at people as like that's their child. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying they have authority. They have the authority under the law to be able to do certain things that you just can't do. Now here's the question. That power that the police officer has, what are they going to do with that power? Well, I don't know. It just depends on the day, depends on the situation, depends on how that police officer is feeling that day, depends on what type of things that police officer has been through in his life, what is his or her experiences, right? Are they shell-shocked? Do they have PTSD? Do they have some other underlying issues? What's going on with this? What's going on with this particular person? You have no idea. All you know is that when they're coming into the situation, they have authority. That's all we know. So here's when it comes down to de-escalation. And this is very important that you understand this very simple point. The way you de-escalate an authority figure is to give them the illusion of power. Now, I want you to really think about this, because a lot of this is going to go straight over you guys' head. But I want you to really let this sink in. I'm going to give you a prime example of how this works. I was coming out of my apartment one day. This is back in the day. And I lived down in downtown Atlanta. This is about 10 years ago. And my apartment complex was kind of on a one-way. It was a little quick one-way, and then the street that I was trying to get to. I didn't feel like going all the way around, so I went up the wrong way on the one-way to get to the street that I was going to. I knew I was wrong. I knew that it was illegal. I knew it was not the right thing to do to go up a damn one-way. That was stupid, right? But I felt like, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't see any cars coming. Well, just so happened that a police officer was chilling right over there and saw me, threw on his lights, and got behind me. And I was like, damn. So I rolled down my window. I put both hands on the steering wheel, because remember, they have authority. You don't want to seem like a threat, guys. You want to take away any perception of threat. Now, I know a lot of you, you're going to be like, well, you a threat just because you black. That might be true. But remember, you don't know which police officer you're dealing with, guys. You might have that police officer that looks at you as a threat because you're black. Or it might be a cool police officer. There's no way that you can know. There's no way that you can know. So your best bet is to treat all of them as an authority figure with respect. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Boom. Comes to the door. Now, my whole goal is to give this police officer the power and the authority, because I want to get away from this situation. And a matter of fact, I don't even want a ticket. I want to be able to walk away from this situation, obviously with my life, but it wasn't no serious situation like that. But things have happened for less. But I wanted to, and somebody actually put me on to this a while ago. It was like, man, just make the police officer feel like they're in control. Half the time they'll let you go. And I was like, damn, I'm about to try it right now. So I was like, yes, sir, police officer. He was like, do you know why I stopped you? I said, yeah. You know, and that was just totally, I told him this. I was like, that was just totally stupid of me to go the wrong way. That was just crazy. I don't know why I did it. I was just trying to hurry up and get through here to this other street. So, you know, I'm sorry, my apologies. That was just dumb. It's like, where do you live? I said, I live right here. This is actually where I live. I'm just coming out trying to go to work or whatever. I'm just trying to cut corners, man. Just one thinking. All right. So I'm giving him, I'm not arguing with him. I'm not telling him I'm not trying to convince him of anything other than the fact, you got me. I'm wrong. You know what the police officer did? See, when an authority figure is no longer able to wield power, because you got to remember, wielding the power is the power in having power. Let me say that again. Being able to wield power. It's like if you have a sword and you're walking around, yeah, you got a sword. But it ain't a problem until you start swinging that thing. Until you start swinging the sword. That's where you're wielding power. And so the police officer, they're not able to wield power until they give you a ticket, until they arrest you, until they do that. But they can also wield power by letting you go. And this is a very simple point that I want to drive home, because a police officer can wield power by saying, you know what, man, this is a good kid. He made a mistake. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use my power, and I'm going to let him go. See, it's all up here, guys. And I want you to really understand that, man, that you don't go barking at the person with the power so that you can get them to wield the power when you know you're going to lose. That doesn't make any sense. That's not smart. We got to be strategic, man. We got to be strategic with any authority figure that we're dealing with. You cannot come in there busting down the door talking about, give me this and give me that. Hold on. That's not your house. You're not the authority. You're not the authority. So until we start establishing some authority and some power, right? Real power, economic power, communal power, where we're able to move as a group. I mean, we're already doing that, but obviously there's room for improvement in a lot of these things. Because see, we have a lot of the same common goals as a lot of different people, no matter what your race is. It just seems like there's areas of improvement that we can make just like that. Respect authority figures, first of all, but it's a mind game. It's a mind game, man. When you're dealing with somebody in authority and they can hurt or help you, you have to be smart about how you deal with them so that you get the result you're looking for. You got to be able to de-escalate. And see, that's the other thing. I worked in a middle school for 2 years. And the schools that I worked in, I wasn't a teacher. I was like sort of like a behavior specialist. And no, I don't have a degree in like behavior specialist. It was more of I would basically be in this room and they would send me all the kids to kind of counsel them, the ones that were getting in trouble a lot. And all those kids, they loved me, man. They really did, bro. Like, I couldn't even walk down the hall. They'd be like, Malcolm, Mr. Malcolm. Because what I would do, when I would talk to them, I would listen. Right? I would listen to them. I would make them feel heard. I would make them feel important. But one thing I noticed right off the bat is they quick to escalate something, boy. Those kids that were getting in trouble a lot, they were quick to turn up. They always turning things up way too high. Man, I ain't even do nothing, man. No, man. I'm like, wow, interesting. Seems to be a little bit of anger here. Someone in the home or whatever has not taught this child how to de-escalate. Because I'm telling you, man, in the school system, them same children that's acting up, same children that's getting suspended all the time, same children that's being put in ISS, in school suspension, the same children getting into the fights, the same ones doing these things, having all these behavior events. Who you think filling up the jails and the prisons, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. This stuff starts early. This stuff starts early, man. And yes, it's a reason why all of these things are happening. A lot of it has to do with the environment. If you grow up in a hostile environment, you have a better chance of being hostile, right or wrong. So I think we need to change some of our tactics. We need to change some of our tactics. We need to think about, how do we teach these kids how to de-escalate? How do we teach the police how to de-escalate? How do we teach parents how to de-escalate? Don't just off the rip start whooping your child if you haven't even talked to them. They don't know why they're being whooped. Don't just suspend the student just because you got pissed off. Right? Like, these are things that adults responsible adults are supposed to be able to do, guys. Because look, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place for everything. There's some situations, they're not avoidable. You can't avoid them. You got to turn up. Somebody is disrespecting you. Somebody is playing you for a fool. Somebody is doing whatever the case may be. You told them numerous times, listen, I ain't going for it, right? But it continues and continues. There's no way out. Sometimes you got to turn up on people. Sometimes you might even have to do so physically if it's a self-defense situation. Sometimes you got to tell people about themselves in a way that might not sound so nice, but it's a way to put them back in their place just so they know they can't play with you. But for the most part, guys, you want to de-escalate. We ain't got time to be trying to fight everybody. How you going to make some money? How in the hell you going to make some money if you fighting everybody? See, I'm telling you, man, this culture, we're living in a culture that's something that's been so deeply ingrained, man, and it's through the rap music. Everybody want to turn up. Everybody want to fight. You know, it's like a wish a nigga would type of mentality. It's almost like we want confrontation. It's the strangest thing. We want to turn up. No, what we should want to do is be successful. What we should want to do is stay out of prison. What we should want to do is raise our families. And y'all know this. A lot of you guys understand this. So try it out, man. Next time you're in any situation where you're dealing with someone who is an authority figure, try it out, man. Try to reverse your thinking. Try to say, you know what? I know I'm wrong. Think to yourself, I know I'm wrong. How do I get out of this situation? Sometimes the best way out is to admit that you're wrong, apologize. A lot of times you'll be forgiven and let go. You heard it here first. I can't do nothing but give you the game, guys. It's up to you whether or not you want to implement it. This is Malcolm. You're on Malcolm Talks. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, man. What do you think, bro? Do you think that I'm talking some like Uncle Tom, like you know, man, de-escalate? Man, what you mean de-escalate? We finna turn up. Or do you kind of see what I'm saying? Like, all right, we need a different approach. We need a different strategy. We can't fight everybody. We need a different way to win. Well, a lot of different ways to win. A lot of different ways to get what you want. It's just that some people think that you got to turn up and that's the only way to get it done. Well, I beg to differ. Subscribe, comment, like the video, and I'm going to holler at you guys next time, man. Peace.